Chains rattle broken, now we rise. Flag in my hand, stars burn the skies. Truth ain't dead, though the liars try. They scream loud, but the words all die. God's watching hands, praise to the throne. Freedom ain't free, blood built this home. Continue freedom, keep it alive. Red, white, blue, we bleed to survive. God bless the brave who fight and strive. Continue freedom, keep it alive. Land of the free, ain't bending the knee. Truth in my veins, it's all I see. Patriots roar, no fear in the fight. Continue freedom, stand in the light.
Okay, welcome back to Continue Freedom, guys. Thanks so much for being here. As you can tell, or as you may know, rather, the Candace Owens podcast is releasing right now. I was actually over there just watching it. I'm going to do a follow-up video. I'm going to hit a couple of tidbits because I was listening to the thing leading up to this, and it was the awfulest bunch of drivel I've heard in my entire life. But if you're new here, before we get started, because we are going to talk about some good stuff, hit all the free buttons down below. Very helpful for the channel. And, you know, we're growing. But we've seen a lot of growth here over the past week or so. I'm very excited about it. But before we get to the good news, I have to give you a brief synopsis of what I've heard from Candace Owens. And that is that Erica, this is the story she's going with now. Erica isn't sure that she's lying to us. Like, as if the lies were downloaded into her head. This is what Candace was going with. I'll do a full show on all of her madness. I started taking notes. It's some of it is so easy to debunk. Other pieces of it, she's very crafty and very good at weaving this odd narrative and creating this mess of slop that you have to go back through and sift through and pick and parcel each little bit apart. And because she has a small team, a relatively small team, aside from all the people out in the ether that are feeding her nonsense, that small team is buttoned up tighter than a drum. So this is the advantage that Candace Owens has. It's that she can spout a bunch of nonsense, and in the amount of time it takes everybody else to sift through all the nonsense, she's moved on to something else. It's so infuriating and so frustrating. But in case you're wondering, according to Candace, Erica isn't sure that she's lying, doesn't know it was all downloaded into her mind. This is weird stuff. And, I feel bad for the people that are following her. They're giving their hard-earned money to people that our favorite journalist, that they write about the same way Candace speaks. God bless them, bless their hearts, but they are being duped by this woman. Like I say, I'll give you guys a full rundown. Let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and get into. Oh, by the way, I was gonna say it's kind of funny. While we're in the neighborhood, or we're in the world of spreading rumors, here we go. Let's start one about Candace Owens. I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to. Somebody posted this, and they were like, "Oh, just something that makes you go, right?" This is what Candace does. She takes all this out of context stuff, spins it as though it's her, as though it's reality. People are left picking up the pieces, trying to figure out just what the heck she is talking about. And by that time, she's released another video, and the rest of her lemmings are spreading their nonsense. And I will tell you, I made a video today talking about how her defamation suit could be forthcoming. I had some interesting comments down in the comment section who the folks made some really good points. They said, look, she's going to use the drama and the asking questions thing to say, well, I didn't actually say that. I said, it's the what if thing. It's the what if thing. And then her lemmings take it and they just repeat it on a loop. So she is going to could be okay in all of this. I hope that's not the case. I hope that she does get sued, and I hope that they have enough to bring a case against her. But the lemmings that follow her, the Ian Carrolls of the world, they're the ones that are going to get hung out to dry. So anyway, without further ado, let's get on to some good news. How about that? Unifying message, the State of the Union. If you guys didn't watch it, I was on Paramount Tactical. We went through the whole stream, and it was It was great because I was looking at it like 1990s America. I'm a child of the 90s. I was born in the 80s, but I'm a child of the 90s, and we loved our country. There was patriotism. There was, it was American flags and football and Budweiser commercials everywhere. It was good to be an American. And I felt that same feeling from back in the day. And it's back when we didn't have a bunch of haters who were sitting in Washington, D.C., sitting on their phones, spending all day on X, typing a bunch of tweets or X posts about how much they hate America while they're sitting in their cathedrals that we, the taxpayers, pay for, i.e., congressmen and women. We didn't have a bunch of congressmen and women hating on America back in the day, or maybe we did, but we didn't have social media, so it wasn't influencing our day-to-day lives. I had parents that loved America, parents that were patriotic. That's not the case anymore. We've got a whole side of our political system who loathes not just America, but the American people. And some of the positives, look, Trump, we're migration net negative. This is a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing for the country. Inflation has been at 2.4%. Border crossings have plummeted. $18 trillion in new investment. The military's not woke anymore. When I was coming through the military on active duty, it was starting to get woke. I left active duty. I went in the reserves, and it was wokeified. It was getting wokeified to the nth degree. And we're keeping our enemies in check. That's another great thing that Donald Trump has been doing. So there's positives. And guys, I'm telling you, it is heartwarming when you think about the good things. We still have to offer our criticisms. This isn't to say that we just sit and focus on the good from now till kingdom come. No, that's not the case. But Donald Trump has at the State of the Union actually forced people, the people being the mainstream media, the pundits on the left, he forced them into saying we looked like a bunch of idiots last night. Check this out. This is CNN. CNN of all people.
Governor Newsom, he's got a book, I think, which actually publishes today. He's in the middle of the fray of possible Democratic contenders. So what do the polls say?
Yeah, they're all running, and this is just a downright clown car at this point on the Democratic side. I mean, just take a look here. Top choices for the 2028 Dem-Pres nominee. You have a leader, but it's not really a clear leader. It's within the margin of error. You have Newsom at 19%. Then you have former Vice President Kamala Harris at 18%. Quite a weak number for her, given that, of course, she was the nominee last time around. Pete Buttigieg, who, of course, has run before, 13%. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez at 12%. This is just a total clown car. It is a total.
So they're saying we got nobody. We got nothing. We've got nothing that can compete with Trump. And CBS, CBS has been doing actually some pretty decent journalism. That ever since Barry Weiss took over, it's been pretty legit. And I think I got the right clip here. Let me play this one.
Table. I want to bring the conversation back here to our group watching along. Major, you've seen a lot of these, I think, more than any of us. What stood out to you?
Well, look, before the speech, many Republicans said one of the priorities for the president was to make sure Americans after this speech had a sense that the opposition party was off the rails, was crazy, their terminology, not mine. Many of the contrasts the president articulated tonight were to drive that message forward, that not only do I disagree with the opposition party sitting before me in Congress, but I disagree with them so strongly and they with me so much that they can't even applaud basic common sense thing. And that line that you mentioned, that he added to the speech, whether it was ad-libbed or not, the first obligation, American citizens versus illegal aliens, was meant to create a visual moment of perpetual contrast.
There you go. A moment of perpetual contrast. What a great way to put that, by the way. Well done. Well done on that, CBS. So Donald Trump, and you might be asking if you didn't watch the State of the Union. By the way, in the chat, let me know if you did watch the State of the Union last night. And just say yes and where you watched, because I'm very curious. We do live streams on a lot of channels that I do some work with and stuff. We were doing live streams. A ton of people doing live streams. Just say, did you watch on YouTube? Did you watch on CBS? Where did you watch? And this is the moment that they were talking about. The moment they were talking about was this right here. Here we go. Let me pull it up and play it.
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
stand up if you believe this, that it is your responsibility as members of Congress to support the American citizens and not illegal aliens. And the Democrats stayed seated. This is going to be, look, this is going to be played, and it's going to be brought up in perpetuity forever and ever, or at least until the 2028 election and through the 2028 election, that these people are prioritizing non-Americans over Americans. And well, I think it's quite obvious that's not what they're supposed to do, but it shows how much they loathe, how much they hate the American people. It shows that their priority is, it's not the people born in this land. It's the people who can come in and in the next census help them redraw the boundaries so that they can entrench themselves in power in perpetuity. That's what this says. And there's multiple examples. We'll talk about it. But we'll play the rest of this clip. There you go.
Agree with.
The next clip is Rashida Tlaib. When they were, this broke out multiple times throughout the night, the chants of USA, USA. Look what Rashida Tlaib was mouthing when they were saying USA, USA, because we love our country, because this is America, baby. Watch Rashida Tlaib. Oh, ex-player, come on. KKK. Let me play that again, just in case anybody didn't see that one. Back in the nosebleeds. KKK. That's what it is. America is the evil empire. America, the evil empire. Wow. Their opinion, I tell you, their opinion of us is so wildly, wildly low. Ilhan Omar, this is the kind of the petulant child effect. We see this a lot from Democrats. We see this a lot from Democrats, but we're used to seeing it with Charlie Kirk and people that are out doing man on the street interviews, or Nick Shirley, or you pick your reporter or whoever, that they are out here talking to people, trying to have conversations. In this instance, it's the leader of the free world making a presentation to the American people. And Ilhan Omar acted like a ticked-off liberal child at a university. Check this out.
You should be ashamed of yourself, not stand. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Wow. You know, we elect these people. You guys know this, but when we're talking to folks on the left, this is how I look at it, is that we've elected representatives who are supposed to be the adults in the room. They're our representative in Congress when huge, monstrous decisions are being made, how we're going to spend our very valuable tax dollars, what we're going to do when it comes to war with a foreign country, or the policies that are going to carry us forward for generations and generations. And instead, what we get petulant children elected to office, one of whom was rescued by the United States, should be grateful to be an American. And instead, she's yelling down the president of the United States, the same one who has brought us $18 trillion in new investment, who de-wokified our military, has strengthened our military, who is working on our economy, getting us back to a strong footing, trying to get us back to a strong footing. And what's the best that she can do? Yell out like a wild liberal college kid while sitting in Congress as an elected representative. This is horribly, horribly embarrassing. Not just for the left. Like, for the left, it's very embarrassing. But for the American people, this is the world stage. And there are a lot of leftists out there, whether they're in the UK or France, or, you pick the country. I have folks on this channel. I've got Aussies, and I've got people from all over the world, people from the UK, people from France. We have an international audience here, and they watch it and they see this. They see how we behave. Now, the ones that follow this channel, generally speaking, are more conservative, and they see it for the farce that it is. They see it for the shame that it is. But when people are saying, what's the deal with American politics? And they look at it and they see petulant children, spoiled brats sitting in Congress, yelling like angry blue-haired college kids with septum piercings in their nose. They stand up and say, well, the land of the free is looking a little wonky right now. And to that, I agree. We look very wonky. Dave Rubin made a funny post. It cracked me up. I was like, I got to share this one. This was his comparison. He said, let's pull it in. He said, if the two old guys in the balcony in the Muppets had sex changes and became jihadists. that was Dave Rubin's post. I got to admit, I was chuckling about that one. But yeah, I mean, his point is taken. The social media politicians, this is what AOC, Rashida Tlaib, and I watched these folks, by the way. When I was up at the Supreme Court filming stuff. I was getting, footage of it was the Dobbs decision, and Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley, AOC, they all showed up. And when they showed up, they were rolling heavy. I'm talking they had their security all around them. They're on their cell phones walking out. They step out in front of the cameras. They wave their pom-poms, hold a sign for 5 minutes, turn around and go back into the Capitol and start sending out tweets that rile up their base, that rile up that crazy side of the left. And that's what politics has become for the left. There's versions of it on the right. We have to be honest and admit that. There are versions of that on the right, people that play the social media game. But they're doing it to play to the baser instincts of their followers, of their voters. But let's be honest, a lot of them, it's not their voters. Some of these people, because it happens on our side, they get in office and nobody likes them. Nobody liked Lindsey Graham, but Lindsey Graham stayed in for 25 years. Nobody likes Mitch McConnell, but Mitch McConnell is on literally and figuratively on life support. And people say, get rid of this guy, get rid of this guy. And they just keep getting elected. But on their side, most of their support, it's coming from the wild, loud, spoiled, TikTok-brained young people. And, tax cuts used to be, I remember this, hearkening back, like I say, it reminded me of 90s patriotism. And that 90s patriotism was all about tax cuts, right? Everybody wants tax cuts. If you're interested to know, 60% of Americans, polls show 60% of Americans believe their taxes are too high, and 81% say they can't afford any more taxes. Yet this is Donald Trump's, or how the Democrats responded to Donald Trump when he said, we need to get these tax cuts done.
All Democrats, every single one of them, voted against these really important and very necessary, massive tax cuts.
They're literally standing and cheering because they voted against tax cuts for Americans. This is why, look, this is a kind of it's the MO for the left. They need us to be destitute. They need us to be in the hardest possible position they can put us in, because that gives them leverage. That gives them the opportunity to make promises, right? They fight Trump because Trump's policies can bring some meaningful change in a positive direction for the average American. They need us to be destitute so that they can say that they'll deliver. They never do. They can say that they'll deliver, and a destitute population, one that is overtaxed and underrepresented or ignored, angry, frustrated, those are the people that they can leverage to try and get votes. And if they get in the midterms, which there's a lot of folks on the right who are trying to, I think, actively trying to get us to lose the midterms. Some of them say that we shouldn't even vote in the midterms. There are right-wing people out there telling other Republicans that that's what they should be doing, that don't even vote because Donald Trump didn't release the Epstein list quick enough. If you pay attention to a lot of the online personalities, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. But they're saying don't vote. We need to lose. We need to lose. Well, if we lose and the borders open back up again, there will be redistricting. And just like in Virginia, where Abigail Spanberger is redrawing the boundaries, well, she's not doing it, but their legislature is doing it. Their legislature is wanting to redraw the boundaries. They'll have, I think one was the last number I read. They'll have one representative Republican in Virginia. Maryland has tried to get rid of their last representative. They need us to be destitute. They want us to be destitute. And just like the Democrats not standing up for, Trump's call. Hey, we support the American people, not the illegal immigrants. Yeah, they don't care about the American people. It's the least of their worries. Power is their largest worry, their largest concern. A great statesman named Al Green. It's kind of hard listening to this guy. It is, but we're going to do it. He had some words after the State of the Union. Here we go.
As you know, the president has depicted
I know it's quiet.
a former president and first lady as apes. The behavior has been declared racist by a good many people. But I don't think the president has really received the message that is unacceptable. He seems to think that he can do these dastardly things with impunity.
Dastardly.
Tonight, I wanted him to have a person confront him and let him know that black people aren't apes. That black
This guy's a moron. What precisely is he talking about? You guys can let me know down in the chat. They're still, look, the playing of the race card, those days are over. We're not buying it. Americans aren't buying that anymore. We're looking back to, it's not about the color of your skin, but the content of your character. That's where we sit. These people still think it's kind of back to what CNN was saying. When CNN said, we got no candidates. Yeah, because all of your candidates are like Al Green. They are teleprompter candidates. That's all the left, or that's all the Democrats have. They have teleprompter candidates. They've been receiving the same talking points for, the past, since Obama. They get the talking points. They repeat the talking points. When asked to give specifics about any of the nonsense, any of the crap that they're signing into law, they can't give it to you. They just say, well, we're here for the American people. Rah, rah, rah. They have no idea what they're signing. And so they keep playing the teleprompter, the talking points. Maybe the fax machine at the DNC is broken, and they're just not getting their new points. So they said, well, I don't know what else to talk about because I'm a blithering idiot. Trump is a racist. Let's go back to that one because that worked really well for him in 2016, right? Good gracious. Okay, let's go to the next one here. Let's see here. This one is about trans kids, and I've got two clips to show. Trump knows this is a big deal with us over here on the right. Look, if people want to go through with that, there's ethical arguments to be made as to whether or not people should be allowed to transition at all. That's not the argument I'm going to make. I'm going to draw the line for the sake of this argument at the kids. Donald Trump made this point during the State of the Union, and let's listen to this, and then I'm going to play a clip from the Fox News cameraman. Oh, it's hilarious.
No state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we've been talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately. Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy, I'm telling you. They're crazy.
I don't know why Ro Khanna is smiling, but...
Amazing. Boy, oh boy. We're lucky we have a country. With people like this, Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we?
Okay, so over on Fox News, this one, it was Evan, who was it that posted it? I don't even know who it was that posted it. Let me pull this one up. The timing of this was stupendous. So check this out. This is over on Fox News. This is the variety in coverage, right? Oh, come on. You got to work. Here we go. Let me pull this one up. Check this out.
Sage was thrown into an all-boys state home and suffered terribly for a long time. But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full ride scholarship to liberty.
So Trump is recounting a story of a kid who was transitioned. And who do they go to? They go to Sarah McBride, who is a transgender congressman. And I was like, Fox News, give this dude a raise. He needs a bonus at the end of the year, because it made its way around the internet. They're like, all right, he's talking about this. Whoever that camera guy is, kudos to you, my friend. Go to the one with the angry face, the transistor, or the transformer. There's a lot of other names for it. How do you not stand for that? How in the world do you not stand for that? And, he hit several times on the, voter ID, and we've got to have voter ID. This is something I haven't actually mentioned it in a video yet. The Democrats are opposed to voter ID. Trump brought up a point that, I wanted to make it on a video, haven't done so yet. Let me let the President of the United States make the point for me. Here you go.
And even the new communist mayor of New York City, I think he's a nice guy, actually. Speak to him a lot. Bad policy, but nice guy. Just said they want people to shovel snow. They got hit hard. Wants them to shovel snow, but if you apply for that job, you need to show 2 original forms of ID and a Social Security card. Yet they don't want identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America. No, it's no good. No good. Both Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly agree on the policy that we just enunciated. And Congress should unite and enact this common sense, country-saving legislation right now, and it should be before anything else happens.
Over 80%, guys, over 80% of Americans want voter ID, and the left still doesn't. You know why? Because they cannot. It is impossible for them to win an election without fraud. It can't be done. It cannot be done. And I've heard people talking. I think it was Josh Howerton. He's a pastor. This is if you want to know what my content algorithm is, it is politics, it is pastors, it is apologists. These are the things that I listen to on a loop nonstop. And I think it was Josh Howerton who was he was talking about I just lost it. What was the point I was going to make? I completely had a brain cloud. That's okay. We're live streaming. It happens. When it comes back to me, I'll let you know. I looked down. I should not have looked down at this my next one. Anyway, here's another despicable moment. How partisanship and politics supersede any kind of, moral truth or any kind of morality for the left. This is the mother of Irina Zarutska. You guys remember Irina Zarutska? She was brutally killed by an illegal immigrant. And this is her mother. Here's the left.
Arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail. Stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget. There were people on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal, set free to kill in America, came in through open borders. Mrs. Zarutska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina. How do you not stand? How do you not stand?
The left doesn't stand for a woman who was taken out because of their bad policies. A mother lost a daughter because of their policies, because of an open border. Donald Trump is fixing it, and because he is fixing it, they can't give him even just a modicum of acknowledgement. that being said, there was a moment where everybody stood together. And it's one that I thought it's a good thing. It's okay. I'm happy about it. I'm going to play this one, and then I'm going to show you what the Democrats were doing instead of. Before the whole State of the Union, the Democrats, about 50 of them, said that they were going to walk out or protest or whatever. And they're usually fairly coordinated. So I'm sure some of them were just the lemmings in there yelling and interrupting the speech. The others are the ones like Al Green who walked out. But this is one where we actually had Elizabeth Warren, not all Democrats, but several of them stood up. Watch this.
Forgotten American workers, great people, the people that built our country, access to the same type of retirement plan offered to every federal worker. We will match your contribution with up to $1,000 each year. As we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market, let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information.
And Democrats stand up for that. That they stand for. Fine. At least they gave us something. At least they gave us something. Now, look, they were doing their own events. This was happening across the country, and it went about how you would expect it to go. Okay, here we go. Here's the first one. This is the modern Democrat Party, by the way, guys. The modern Democrat Party today. Here's what we've got.
And I have a flag. And I am the proud representative for Oregon's 3rd Congressional District. Yes, thank you. Thank you. And tonight, I defy Trump and his authoritarian project by standing in joyful, radical, peaceful resistance with the Portland Frog Brigade.
Oh my gosh. I think this is the giraffe guy. Let me see if this is the giraffe guy. Oh yeah, here you go.
Prison in Minneapolis. I've been arrested 3 times by ICE over absurdity, over us being ourselves, over me singing songs like, hey, Mr. Tangerine Man, get rid of brown people for me. I'm Aryan white. There ain't no place up.
What is wrong with these people? I don't know if it's the SSRIs, if it's the chemicals in the food. I don't know what it is. Maybe kale has some sort of toxic properties. Maybe that's the case. Do kale chips cause psychosis? That would be my question. I mean, we could make a reasonable assumption that that's the case. My goodness. Joy Reid, she was, I'm not going to play hers. There's a pretty foul language in it. I try to keep the show PG-13. I do my best to do that. Let's see. Here was one report from, I think this was from The Blaze. Let me pull this up. No, this one was from, I don't know who that is. Maybe it was The Blaze. Wired. I think that it was Wired. Here, let me pull this one up.
Give us a breakdown. What's the average attendee? I just want to know who goes to one of these things. What's it looking like?
So when you say who goes to these types of things, not many. There's probably 75 people in this crowd, and I would say 35 of them are reporters. Yes, and maybe we've seen it in Minneapolis. We've seen it with protests. Right when it starts at 9 p.m., they're able to get these droves of people. But as of right now, it's a pretty slim turnout.
Oh, wow. So the left is doing about as well as we can expect them to be doing. Their folks they tend to be lazy, THC is it's not a depressant, I don't think. What is THC? THC makes you lazy, kills inhibitions. I'm sure there were several guys in flip-flops and, hemp pants who were saying, I'm supposed to be somewhere right now, man. And they didn't show up. But the coverage, and I thought I had grabbed those clips. Let me double check here. The clips from afterwards, let's see, it was, let me make sure I got it. CNN, all these folks were, oh, here we go. This is the one. after the event. This was on a loop. This was in the Democrat talking point. So listen to what Abby Phillip had to say about Donald Trump's presentation of the Medal of Honor and other prestigious awards like the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Itself, but he utilized almost.
Come on, X.
These game show type moments where you're seeing awards being presented to really bring these moments of togetherness that otherwise might not have been there.
Game show type moments. That's what the Medal of Honor is for. Game show type moments. So say the Democrats. Here's some cackling leftists giving us their take on this.
I was there, and it was as horrific as I thought it would be.
Did you leave early?
Absolutely.
It was like an award show. You get a medal. You get a medal. You get a medal. That's literally.
We're not talking about the participation trophies that have destroyed the fabric of this country. We are talking about brave men who went and fought in foreign wars and got the highest honor that can be awarded to them, the Medal of Honor. This isn't your participation trophy because you put on your little shiny slippers and you danced a dance when you were 12 years old. These are meaningful things. This is prideful for our country. This is something to be celebrated, that we have brave men who will do what those men did. To equate it to an award show, oh, you get a medal, to downplay it is utterly despicable. In the military, we look like these guys are legendary. And the story of that, I think he was a Chinook pilot, of that pilot and what he went through, wow, remarkable. But they have to downplay it. I don't think that their followers, their listeners, their viewers, I don't think that they really know any better. And if you are one of them and you happen to see this show, it would behoove you to hear, when you hear things like that, to maybe second guess it. Wait a second. You should be saying, I thought the Medal of Honor was a big deal. Yeah, it is a big deal. It's a huge deal. It's not some silly award show, as they would have you believe. So why, I harp on the left. That's what a lot of this show does. We're highlighting hypocrisy on the left, bad policies on the left. And, this happens at the I've been talking about the redistricting and how this is going to affect us in the House and in the Senate in the long term, or in the House, how it's going to affect us in the long term. And we have to understand, too, not only do these people not like Americans, but they will actively lie to Americans. I've shown Abigail Spanberger in Virginia and what she's done. And the video I'm going to show you is not a real video, but it is a good depiction. It's a very good AI depiction of Abigail Spanberger. And here we go. It's a very good depiction of Abigail Spanberger and her new policies. Let me turn this down because I don't know if that is copyrighted music. Taxing dog walkers. Taking money from the middle class. Yep. Destroying small business 100%. Gas-powered blowers illegal. Like these stupid policies. And now 2A is up for grabs. Now it's 21 is what they're doing. Let me pull this volume back up. And people leaving Virginia. AI video is getting really good. If you haven't seen some of the ones out there, they're ridiculous. And the video world is going to be gone in the matter of moments. But I thought for an AI video, it depicted Abigail Spanberger. It's why elections matter. But it's also important for us to remember, and what I try to remember all the time, is these people, whether they are left and sometimes on the right, politics there's a lot of dishonesty in politics. I highlight Tim Burchett on a regular basis because Tim Burchett seems legit. I heard him today and he said, if one of your politicians ever tells you that they like being a politician, it's time for you to get another politician. And he signs off all of his thing. It's a small thing, but he signs off all of his Instagram videos and videos he posts on X with, thank you all for sending me here. But he's constantly railing on the swamp. There are certain people that get in and they swim in the swamp. They are meant for the swamp. They've got the webbed feet, the webbed hands. They are, they're able to thrive in that environment. And those are the types of people that we have to avoid at all costs. Abigail Spanberger clearly lied to the Virginians, to the Americans in Virginia, and told them she was going to run as a moderate. And now, 21 years old, this is what they're pushing through. 21 years old before you can buy a firearm, but you have to be in the presence of an adult, which means you can be in the presence of an 18-year-old. There's chameleons like Gavin Newsom. This is why I'm hopeful still, despite the division that we have over here on the right. I try to remain as hopeful as I possibly can. I know we've got our chameleons over here on the right, but the left is chock full of them. I don't know if you guys saw this clip of Gavin Newsom, but this is him talking to black voters. This is how little they think of those folks. Here we go.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. and I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in. I'm not trying to impress you. So
our takeaway from Gavin Newsom in this interview is one of two things. One is he's doing what motive they are imparting on him, which is he's saying, you guys are stupid and I'm stupid too. So I'm now relatable. This is similar to Hillary Clinton, what she would do when she would change her accent. She talked about carrying hot sauce around in her pocketbook. I mean, silly things like that, playing to stereotypes. Their politics and their rhetoric, it is geared towards stereotypes. The left is not, as a party that has not changed in its entire existence. The left has always been the party of racism. It's always been the party of division and authoritarianism and all of these things. The left has always been that. They try to sell that there was a shift. There was never a shift. Gavin Newsom thinks black people are dumb. It's the same thing as Kamala Harris and other people coming out saying, well, they don't know how to get onto a computer. They don't know how to get an ID. Ami Horowitz did his Man on the Street interview, and he went and asked liberals at college campuses, what do you think? And they say, yeah, black people can't get ID. And then he goes into Harlem, and they say, what are you talking about? Of course we can get an ID. They play to the lowest, to their stereotypical understanding of people, as opposed to who these people actually are. And it's not the way they depict them. Or he could just be self-deprecating. I'm willing to leave it open to that. So either way, the crowd cheered, which is troubling in and of itself. So they're saying, yeah, I'd rather vote for a skeezy moron than vote for Donald Trump. A guy who is playing to the stereotypes of my world rather than Donald Trump. Here's one that I think this might be one of the clips. I pulled up so many clips for tonight. It's crazy. So keeping track of them. Yeah, here we go. This is Governor Hochul. There you go.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions.
This, it's why I like the again, I'm going to say his name. I've said it on a loop, Tim Burchett. I like Tim Burchett because Tim Burchett he acts like a normal guy. He talks to people like a normal guy. He doesn't adapt his language depending on the person or his audience. He's just Tim Burchett. And we got a lot of folks like that over on the right. People on the left, not so much. It's the true chameleons who think that we're stupid. True chameleons who think that well, I hate to say it, but this is what they think, that certain people are inferior. And it goes back to my earlier point, that they have not changed since the Jim Crow South. The Democrat Party has not. So this one was Chuck Schumer. Here we go. I'm going to play this one more time. And then I'm going to, let's see.
Here we go. When we fight for democracy, when we protect democracy, we got to fight fire with fire. We're not going to stand idly by, as Maya said. We're not going to let them revert to Jim Crow. And if you don't think they want to revert to Jim Crow, just look what they did in the SAVE Act, which went back to took Jim Crow for the whole nation. By so making it hard, they said you need ID, and they made it so hard to show ID that probably half the people in America couldn't vote.
To get an apartment, to buy alcohol, to rent, to buy, to have a car, to get a bank account, to get government assistance. If they want to play to the lowest common denominator, you got to have ID. And technically you don't. You can be an illegal immigrant and still get government assistance. There's nothing you can do in this country without an ID. And Chuck Schumer would have the less educated part of his, the angry white liberals in the left. They say, yeah, that's true. 50% of the people in this country won't be able to vote anymore if we put in voter ID laws.
We wouldn't let it pass. Democrats, they needed our vote. They went to court. Many of us, Durbin, myself, and others, were lead plaintiffs, and we beat them in court. But it shows why we need legislation. Because these guys are undoing everything in every way they can. They don't want poor people to vote. They don't want people of color to vote. They don't want Democrats to vote. They don't believe in democracy. We do.
If by democracy you mean shipping in Somali voters. Okay. Wow. I don't understand. You guys can let me know down in the chat. Why are people still falling for this? How are people still falling for this? And it's the loudest voices out there are, to use one of their terms, people of privilege. They're kids in universities that are active on social media. These young people, they're going to a college that is, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. They've got middle-class parents who are, working like dogs to try and put them through college, or these kids are going into debt and they've got the money. They're sitting in a very privileged position, and they assume that because they're at this university, they're the elite. They're the top of the top. Everybody else below me is stupid. Everybody else below me is a moron. You multiply that through all the universities across the country, and the next thing you know, we've got Ilhan Omar, AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley, all of these people in Congress who came out of that exact same system, and now they're doing it, and they're saying it. They're pushing that rhetoric on the American people, and now they can vote on our laws. Wild. Okay, guys. That's all I've got for tonight. Thank you all so much for joining me. I truly appreciate it. If you haven't done so already on your way out, feel free to hit all the free buttons below. It really helps this channel. We are growing. We've grown, golly, by about 50% here just in the past few weeks, maybe month or so. Yeah, it's been great. We're growing. I'm very excited about it. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your support. God bless you. God bless America. And I will see you all in the next video. Have a great night.